Hello students, the lecture of today what we have about training and development. Training and development is an attempt to improve current or future employees' performance by increasing the employee's ability to perform through learning, usually by changing the employee's attitude or increasing his or her skills and knowledge. In simple terms, training and development refers to the imparting of specific skills, abilities, knowledge to an employee. The need for training and development is determined by the employee's performance deficiency, that is computed as a training and development need is always equal to the difference between a standard performance and actual performance. Human resource development programs are divided in three main categories. That is, one is training, second is a development, and third one is a education. Although some organizations categorize all learning under training or training and development, divided it into three distinct categories makes the desired goals and objective more meaningful and precise. Training is the acquisition of technology, skills, or knowledge which permits employee to perform their present job to standards. It improves human performance on the jobs the employee is presently doing or is being hired to do. It is also given when new technology is introduced into the workplace. McFarland defined several concepts used in the development of human resources. Although training and education are closely connected, these concepts differ in crucial way. While the term training relates to imparting specific skills for specific objectives, the term education involves the development of the whole individual socially, intellectually, and physically. According, Accordingly, training forms only a part of the entire educational process, and the term development can be defined as the nature and direction of change taking place among managerial personnel through educational and training process. Though training and education both are different in nature and orientation, they are complementary to each other. An employee, for example, who undergoes training is presumed to have had some formal education. Furthermore, no training program is complete without an element of education. In fact, the difference between training and education is getting increasingly blurred nowadays, as more and more employees are called upon to exercise judgment and to choose alternative solution to the job problems. Training program seeks to burden and helps the individual through education. Development refers to those learning opportunities which are designed to help employees grow. Development is not primarily skills oriented. Instead, it provides a general knowledge and attitude which will be helpful to employees in higher position. Efforts toward development often depends on a personal drive and ambitions. Development activities such as those supplied by the management developmental programs are generally voluntary. Now we discuss about the definition of training. It is a learning process that involves the acquisition of knowledge, sharpening of skills, concepts, rules, or changing of attitudes and behavior to enhance the performance of employees. The major outcome of training is learning. Trainings, Trainees learn new habits, refines skills, and useful knowledge during their training program, which helps them to improve their performance. The overall training objective is to develop a required knowledge, skills, and attitude of employee so that they can perform more productively and achieve the business goals. It is recognized that employees learn primarily from on the job experiences. Therefore, in achieving this objective, the primary contribution is from one's on the job training and supporting contribution from the formal training efforts. There are some basic objectives of trainings are also there. First, to impart basic knowledge and skills to interns and enable them to perform the job well, or to equip employees to meet the changing requirement of the jobs and the organization. It also helps to teach the employee new techniques and ways of performing the job or operation. It is has to prepare employees for a higher level task and build up a second line of competent managers. And training also helps to increase the productivity, quality of work, and also efficiency of employee at a workplace. Now, what is a development? Development is any attempt to improve managerial performance by imparting knowledge, changing attitude, or increasing skills. So, it is the result of not only participating in formal courses of instructions but also of actual job experiences. The ultimate aim of such a development program is to enhance the future performance of the organization itself. For this reason, the general management development process consisting consists first of all assessing the company's need, means for instance to fill future executive openings or to boost competitiveness, then appraising the manager's performance. After that, they're developing the managers, or you can say that of developing a future managers. The management development program may be aimed at filling a specific position such as CEO, perhaps with one of two potential candidates. When an excessive position is to be filled, executive position is to be filled, the process is usually called succession planning. It refers to the process through which a senior level openings are planned eventually filled. So, the objective of development is generally to increase the efficiency of performance of existing executive by developing their managerial skills. It also ensures adequate reserves of managerial talent at all level of the long-term survival and growth of organization. Development also encourages the executives to adopt the latest technology and process, and thus to prevent obsolescence of executives. It also provides the opportunities to manager for their career advancement in order to introduce change in organization by introducing change agents, and thus to influence behavior of workers through the developed workers. Development also helped to establish a harmony and coordination in the changed circumstances, and it helps in the increased proficiency in management techniques such as work study or inventory control or operation research or quality control, etc. So it inculcate a knowledge of human motivation and human relationships to establish a friendly human relationship and effective communication system in the organization. It is also helps to develop a unity of management teams. Now, difference between training and development. Training basically performing for a non-managerial personnel, but at the same time, development process is used for a managerial personnel. Training is most of the time is technical, mechanical, or operational, but a development process is sometime always a theoretical or a based on a conceptual ideas. Training is provided for a short term or focuses on a short term goals like a particular need or technological change or a particular specific job related purpose, but the development is a broader view, and it consider a long term concepts or long term growth of an employee. Training means a learning new things, refreshing old one. But the same time, a development means implementing the learned session and finding a new ones. Training is concerned with the immediate improvement of the employees. That is the way to make the employees more effective in his current job or current role. But development is a process to make the employees efficient enough to handle critical situation in the future as well, how well he can equip himself for the future demands. So this is the basic difference between a training and development. Now, importance of training. Training is a cornerstone of sound management. It makes employees more effective and productive. It is an integral part of the whole management program with all its many activities functionally interrelated. Uh, New and changed techniques developed could be introduced, and their advantages may be taken with training programs. It enables employees to develop and rise within the organization. It also increases their market value, earning power, and job securities. Training also enables the management to resolve sources of friction with employee. It molds the employee's attitude and helps them to achieve a better cooperation with the company and a greater loyalty to it. Training heighten the morale of the employee and helps in reducing a dissatisfaction, complaint, grievances, absenteeism, and the rate of attrition also. Trained employee make better and economical use of materials and equipments. Therefore, a wastage and spoil are less, and the need for the constant supervision is reduced. But at the same time, importance of development, the need of executive development in the modern time arises because of so many factors. For to keep the executive abreast of the changes and development in their respective fields, or to improve the thought process and analytical ability of the employee, or to broaden the outlook of executive regarding his role, position, and his responsibilities related to the jobs, or to understand the conceptual issues relating to the economic, social, and technical areas. Development is also helps to understand the problem of human relations and improving the human relating skills, which helps in creating a good or healthy relationships at workplace. It also simulate creative thinking in an individual. It has to specialize in overall views of the functions of the organization and equip them to coordinate each other's effort efficiently. Now, role of training and development. Obviously, the training and development has to increase the efficiency of an employee or an individual, as well as the efficiency of work or performance of individual. It also has to increase the morale of employee, because it helps to reduce the dissatisfaction or complaints of employee, which is heighten the morale of the employee. It has to create a better environment or creating a good human relations at workplace. uh, Trained employee make a better and economical use of resources or proper utilization of resources, and reduces the wastage and spoilage or scrap. So it needs for a constant supervision is reduced. And the role training and development has to increase the organizational viability and flexibility also. After that, now we discuss that is a training process. There are 6 steps in the training process. All those involved in training needs to be aware of the key stages in the training process, often referred to as the training cycle. Steps in the training process are organizational objectives, assessment of training needs, establishment of training goal, designing training programs, implementation of training programs, and evaluation of results. Now we discuss a step 1, that is a organizational objective. The first step in the training process in an organization is the assessment of its objective and its strategies. What business are we in, at what level of quality do we wish to provide this type of products or this type of services, where do we want to be in the future. It is only after answering these related questions that the organization must assess the strength and weaknesses of its own of its human resources. Second step of training process is a training need assessment. It is also known as a TNA. Need assessment presents problems and future challenges to be met through training and development. Organizations spend vast sum of monies, usually as a percentage of turnover, on training and development. Before committing such huge resources, organizations that implement training program without conducting need assessments may be making errors. Need assessment occur at two levels in an organization. One is a individual level and second one is a group level. An individual obviously needs training when his or her performance falls short of standards. That is when there is performance deficiency. Inadequacy in performance may be due to lack of skills or due to lack of knowledge or any other problems. The problem of performance deficiency caused by absence of skills or knowledge can be remedied by training. So the assessment of training need must also focus on anticipated skills of an employee. Technology changes fast and new technology demands new skills. It is necessary that the employee be trained to acquire new skills. This will help him or her to progress in his her career path. Training and development is an essential to prepare the employee to handle more challenging tasks. Individual may also require new skills because of possible job transfers. Although job transfers are common, as organizational personnel demands vary, they do not necessarily require elaborate training efforts. So the employee commonly require only an orientation to new facilities and new jobs. Second level of need assessment is a group. Assessment of training needs occur at the group level too. Any change in the organization's strategies necessitates training of group of employees. Several methods are available for the purpose of needs assessment, like group or organizational analysis means efficiency indices, preparing exit interview, personal inventories, discuss about the organizational goals and objectives. MBO, the technique of performance appraisal, means management by objective, quality circle. These are the methods for a group analysis. Individual analysis, we can use a performance appraisal method, work sampling, questionnaire, attitude survey, training progress, rating scales, etc. So there are various methods which are available for need assessment at workplace for training. Need assessment helps diagnose the cause of performance deficiency in employee. It causes requires remedial actions. This being a generalized statement, there are certain specific benefits of need assessment. Trainers may be informed about the broader needs of the training group and their sponsoring organizations. The sponsoring organizations are able to reduce the perception gaps between the participants and his or her boss about their needs and expectations from the training program. Trainers are able to design their course inputs closer to the specific needs of the participations. So there are the training need assessment is a important step in a training process. Third step is a establishment of training goals, or you can say that a training and development objective. Once the training needs are assessed, training and development goal must be established. Without clearly set goals, it is not possible to design a training development program. And after it has been implemented, there will be no way of measuring its effectiveness. So, goal of the organization or goal of the training and development must be tangible, it must be verifiable, or it must be measurable. This is easy where skill training is involved. For example, a successful trainee will be expected to type 55 words per minute with 2 or 3 errors per page. Nevertheless, clear behavioral standard of expected results are necessary so that the program can be effectively designed and results can be evaluated. Next step of training process is the designing training programs or designing training and development programs. Every training and development program must address a certain vital issues like who are the trainee, means the trainee should be selected on the basis of self nomination, recommendation of the supervisor, or by the HR department itself. It is preferred to have two or more target audience, as bringing several target audience together can also facilitate group processes such as a problem solving and decision making. For example, an employees and the supervisor may effectively learn together about a new work process and their respective roles. So, who are the trainee? It is an important question. Another issue is who are the trainer? Several people, including the following, may conduct a training and development programs like immediate supervisors, co-workers as a body as in body systems, member of the personal staff, or a specialist in other part of the company, or outsider consultant, industry associations and faculty members at universities. So after who is the trainee, we can decide who are the trainer or who can provide a training. After that, for designing a program, training program, what method and technique are to be used for training, it is also decided. Like there are two major categories of training methods, that is on the job training and off the job training. We will discuss later. So it is also decided what should be the level of learning. At the lowest level, the employee must acquire fundamental knowledge. This means developing a basic understanding of a field and becoming acquainted with the language, concepts, or relationships involved in it. The goal of the next level is skill development or acquiring the ability to perform in a particular skill area, or the higher level aims at increased operational proficiency. This involves obtaining additional experiences and improving skills that have already been developed. So the inputs passed on to the trainees in training and development program are education, skills, ethics, etc. What learning principles are needed is also decided in a designing a program. Learning and learning principles are uh, like which principle we followed, what is the outcome, what are the standards of the training, etc, etc. Where is the program conducted is also decided before the designing a program of for training. Like a final consideration is where the training should be conducted, at the job itself, on site but not the job, off site such as in university or colleges or resorts, etc. So we can decide where the training was conducted, so will conducted. Method, after that we also discuss the methods and techniques which we used off the job and on the job. Of the job trainings methods are that are applied in the workplace while an employee is actually working, and off the job methods are used away from the workplace. So on the job training methods like induction method or orientation method, it is basically used for a new employee or a transferred employee. Apprentices, internship methods. We also use a off the job training like vestibular training, simulation methods, or audiovisual methods, role play, case studies. So before designing a program, we can define their certain issues also. After that, the next step is the implementation of training program. Once the training program has been designed, it needs to be implemented. Means the problem of implementations are most managers are too busy to engage in training efforts. Sometimes their availability of trainer is a problem. So implementation of training is important. Program implementation involves the action on like deciding the location first of all, and organizing training and other facilities, scheduling the training programs, conducting the program, and monitoring the progress of training during overall training programs. Last step of training process is a evaluation of result. The process of examine a training program is called a training evaluation. Training evaluation checks whether training has had the desired effect or not. It also ensures whether candidates are able to implement their learning in their respective workplace or in the regular work routines. So, the purpose of training evaluation having collecting a feedback, research, control, power game, and intervention. First, feedback. It helps in giving feedback to candidate by defining the objective and linking it with to the learning objective or learning outcomes. Second purpose of training evaluation is a research. It helps in ascertaining the relationship between the acquired knowledge, transfer of knowledge at the workplace, and training. Third purpose is to control. It helps to controlling the training program, because if the training is not effective, then it can be dealt with accordingly. Another purpose of evaluation of training is a power game. At times, the top management, means a higher authoritative employee, uses the evaluative data to manipulate it for its own benefits. That's why a power game play an important role. And intervention also, it helps in determining whether the actual outcome are aligned with the expected outcomes or not. So the process of training evaluation contains a step first, that is a before training. The learner's skills and knowledge are assessed before the training program. At the start of training, candidates generally perceives it as a waste of resources, because most of the time candidates are unaware of the objectives and learning outcomes of the program. Once they are aware, they are asked to give their opinions on the methods used and whether those methods conform to the candidates' preferences and learning styles. Or we can evaluate the training during the training program. It is the phase in which an instruction is started. This phase usually consists of short tests at regular interval. And another evaluation of training is after training. It is the phase when a learner's skills and knowledge are assessed again to measure the effectiveness of the training. This phase is designed to determine whether the training has had the desired effect at individual, department, and organizational level. So there are various evaluation techniques which we used for evaluation, like technique questionnaire. It is a there is a comprehensive questionnaire could be used to obtain a opinion or reactions or views of trainee, or we can conduct a test or standard test which could be used to find out whether trainees have learnt anything during and after the training. Or we also use a technique of interview. It could be conducted to find out the usefulness of training offered to operatives. Or we use a comprehensive studies could be carried out eliciting the opinions and judgment of trainers, superiors, and peer groups about the training. Human resource factor also used for evaluation of training, like training can also be on the basis of employee satisfaction, which in turn can be examined on the basis of decrease in employee attrition, decrease in the rate of absenteeism, decrease in the rate of accidents, or decrease in the grievances, discharges, dismissals, etc., etc. So training can also be evaluated on these factors. And after the evaluation, the situation should be examined to identify the probable causes for gaps in performance. The training evaluation information about cost, time spent, or outcomes, etc., should be provided to the instructors, trainees, and other parties which are concerned for control, correction, and improvement of trainees' activity. So the training evaluator should follow it up sincerely so as to ensure effective implementation of the feedback report at every stage of training program. In the last conclusion, the training need analysis process is vital to design, developing, facilitating, and evaluating an effective training program. So, conducting a training need assessment involves in depth investigative research on all three levels like organizational, operational, and personal level, which is very helpful to increase the productivity at workplace or efficiency and performance of an individual. Thank you, class.